In the bad city column, Chicago is still a great city with great people and great neighborhoods. It also has some not so great people and not so great neighborhoods. And that's the subject of today's list, the bad neighborhoods. Every town has them, every city has them. Why not talk about them? So here's my top 10 worst neighborhoods in Chicago. Number 10, Chatham. Chatham is one of 77 communities in Chicago, Illinois. It's located on the city's south side, which isn't the best neighborhood already. Now, if you're looking for a new place to start over, maybe raise a family, put down some roots, yeah, don't come to Chatham. Everyone seems to be unemployed and owns a gun. Now, I watched a few videos, and the people there, the locals, they were saying it was a good place to raise kids. That's not a thing. Raise your kids in a tent in the woods. It would be better for them. Maybe get one of those Unabomber huts. Now, while I was researching this, I googled news in Chatham just for this week, and they had 4 people that got shot by random strangers that were walking by as they stood in front of their house. One poor dude went outside his house to smoke around 10:30 at night. 2 guys walking by just decided to shoot him. Now, the unemployment rate is high, and the homes are cheap. About $140,000 for a home in Chatham. Any place else in the country, that's a great price for any home. Yeah, not here. I think they're asking too much. Way too much. Here's some fun facts. The unemployment rate in Chatham is 126% higher than the national average. The overall crime rate in Chatham is 97% higher than the national average. Go Chatham. Number 9, Grand Crossing. The name Grand Crossing comes from an 1853 right-of-way feud between rail companies that led to a crash that killed 18 people. The crash was a result of Chicago Mayor Russell B. Mason illegally constructing rail tracks across another.
And what do you see? Nothing but white police officers.
You know, they're kind of long, hard to stop, and move relatively slow, and it's probably not a good idea to have them cross in front of each other, especially if you're fighting with the other rail company and don't have the best communication with them. These days, Grand Crossing defies all real estate logic. It's near the waterfront, and nobody wants to.
I got stopped over here.
Here's some fun facts. The overall crime rate in Grand Crossing is 106% higher than the national average. The unemployment rate in Grand Crossing is a whopping 154% higher than the national average. Number 8, Gage Park. Gage Park is between 51st Street and 59th Street. In these 8 blocks, 40,000 people live. The residents usually make about $38,000 per year, making it one of the highest earning neighborhoods on this list. And it still isn't really that great. They don't have much in Gage Park. Well, I mean, except for crime. They got a lot of that. And this neighborhood is big on diversity. Not like racial diversity, like crime. They do a little bit of everything. From breaking into cars, breaking into houses, a little murder, a little assault. They even broke up a dogfighting ring not too long ago. Here's some fun facts. The overall crime rate in Gage Park is 115% higher than the national average. The unemployment rate in Gage Park is 88% higher than the national average. Number 7, Chicago Lawn. Chicago Lawn is one of the most populated neighborhoods in Chicago. They pack them in here like a commuter train in Japan. Go ahead and Google it. You'll thank me later. When you have such a densely populated neighborhood, theoretically,
West Side.
You have a ton of crime. Guess what? Theories prove it in Chicago Lawn. They have a ton of crime. The crime is 7th worst in the city. As a result, the houses sell for about $130,000. That's cheap. Here's some fun facts. The overall crime rate in Chicago Lawn is 113% higher than the national average. The unemployment rate in Chicago Lawn is 134% higher than the national average. Number 6, Auburn Gresham. Like most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago, you'll find Auburn Gresham on the south side. This is another overcrowded Chicago neighborhood. The 50,000 residents pack themselves into the 2nd most populated neighborhood. The average household income sits at an alarming $32,000 a year. That's not one person, that's 2.
See what I got to scam?
Money if you live in rural
And what I got to throw stunts on you?
Here's some fun facts.
I wouldn't be surprised if that whole meet and greet is a 3-way stunt. Especially with showing you all that bus.
That sucks. Number 5, West Garfield Park. In West Garfield Park,
West Side.
residents live well below the poverty line. If you do have a job, it typically pays around $26,000 a year. The area is known as K-Town. When I read that, I had to look up and find out what that was all about. And it's not a big deal, just all the streets there happen to start with K. Well, most of them at least. Kenneth, Kilbourne, Kildare, Keystone, Karloff, Kiel. There's a couple
Kilpatrick.
And they also aren't too bright here. I read up on some of the crimes, and a lot of them are really stupid. Including this one. Recently, a guy tried to rob an Uber driver at gunpoint. He demanded cash and ran off when the driver educated him on how people only pay with cards. And in fact had no cash on him. He was picked up hours later when the police realized he used his own Uber app with his own name. Here's some fun facts. The overall crime rate in West Garfield is 103% higher than the national average. The income per capita in West Garfield is 60% lower than the national average.
This was made 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Now tomorrow I'm going to show you the downtown area and how they yanking them down there.
Number 4, West Englewood. West Englewood is another neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. The crime rate is ranked 3rd worst in the city and has been going up at a good clip for the last 13 years. Recently, the beloved statue of President Lincoln was stolen and later returned. The statue had sat at the corner of 69th Street and Wolcott Avenue for 91 years.
Southwest side.
It was chipped, covered in trash, tagged with graffiti, used as a launching pad for fireworks, painted black, painted white, painted red.
So I tell you how they can snatch you on the alley while you walking across?
It was also washed clean by its neighbors and used for Boy Scout and Girl Scout ceremonies. And during war times, it's where West Englewood mourned its fallen soldiers. And someone stole it. And they later returned it. I mean, imagine the history of it got to them and they just brought it back. Or someone found out and they were trying to avoid some prison time. Here's some fun facts about West Englewood. The overall crime rate in West Englewood is 129% higher than the national average. The average rent asked in West Englewood is 3% higher than the national average. Then that one's just rude. Charge people more rent while they risk their lives going to the mailbox. Doesn't make sense. Number 3, Englewood. As if West Englewood wasn't bad enough, they have Englewood. This is the poorer, smaller version of West Englewood.
That's been purged.
28,000 people have an average income of $20,000. Yeah, $20,000.
Now you have Caucasians living over there.
No need to worry, though. It appears they have plenty of cheap bullets if I'm reading the police reports properly. Englewood consistently ranks as one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. It's one of those places that if you don't need to go there, you don't. And if you do need to go there, most people try and find a way out of it. Here's some fun facts. The overall crime rate in Englewood is 141% higher than the national average. The unemployment rate in Englewood is 220% higher than the national average. Holy crap, 220%. Number 2, Riverdale. Riverdale is
Here we go, Riverdale.
Population of about 7,000. Now, just hearing that, it sounds like
Right off of Forest Park.
Images of walking along a river, sitting under a tree.
Used to be very, very nice. Not now.
That's what 7,000 called Riverdale kind of makes you think. Yeah, that's not how this place works. On your stroll along the river, you have a good chance of seeing the police troll the river for a body. And if you did sit under the tree and read your book, you run the risk of being the next body they're trolling for. 1 in 5 residents don't have a job, making the average income...
I mean, Riverdale used to be nice.
Yeah, you heard me right. $14,000 a year. Most, if not all, the residents live far below the poverty line.
And this is what you see during the summertime.
Yeah, when you're getting houses in a major city for $90,000, that's like a major red flag. Don't move there. Here's some fun facts. The overall crime rate in Riverdale is 152% higher than the national average. Here's a good one. The unemployment rate in Riverdale...
5 years ago, it was not like this.
Higher than the national average. Good times in Riverdale.
But you saw that mansion Eric Kane had right in Riverdale.
Fuller Park. Fuller Park is the least populated on this list with only 2,800 residents. This is
Again, West Side.
If you tell your employer you're thinking about relocating to Fuller Park, they give you a drug test. Tell your family you're going to Fuller Park, take a look at some yard sales, and they will have you committed to a mental health facility. Tell a police officer you just went to some yard sales in Fuller Park, and they will arrest you for having stolen property. The residents' average income is $17,000 a year, making most of them carry the unpopular title of poor as fuck. Some people think Riverdale is worse, and they have a strong argument. What makes me put it at number one is its size. It also has an interstate going right down the middle of it. They also have a very alarming stat. In Fuller Park, you have a 1 in 13 chance of being a victim of a crime every year. And 43% of those victims, it's going to be violent. To give you an example, some of the worst in LA are 1 in 16 chance of being a victim of a crime, and 32% chance of that being violent. New York City, it's 1 in 17 with a 34% chance of it being violent. Fuller Park is unhealthy, to say the least. Stay out of there if you don't need to go there. The overall crime rate in Fuller Park is 139% higher than the national average. The unemployment rate in Fuller Park is 229% higher than the national average. Fuller Park it's just bad. Stay out of there. All right, everyone, so that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some information out of it, and I hope you got some laughs, as always. It's one of the most important things. Chicago is a very interesting city, and it's got some really nice things and an amazing history. I encourage anyone to look up Chicago, the history, read about it, learn about it. There's a great book called Chicago, a biography. I read it, I think, a year ago. It is well worth the read. You can get a Kindle, hardcover, paperback, whatever you want. Check it out. I'll leave a link for that below. Also, I'll leave a link, as always, for my Patreon account. You can support the channel at $1 a month. Always great.
Again, that was made over 3 months ago. With that much poverty, with the low pay, with the price of homes, that violence moves out of the area to the areas that have money. So now the downtown district is being hit. It's called survival of the fittest. You have to know where you're going. You have to know what places to avoid, because the violence, and that's the national high, national. It's still called Chirac. The alderman just didn't like having Iraq associated to Chicago. More people get killed here that were killed in the war. So since you all don't want to look it up, and you all want to come here, as he suggested, you need to pick up a book. You need to Google Chicago. And like he said, it's a very beautiful place, but it's a very interesting place. It's a place where you have to get in, get out if you don't live here, or learn these streets and how to maneuver yourself on the street. Told you I wasn't exaggerating. White tees, bring attention to you. Again, they don't work on colors here. Damn near everybody wear white tee. They're gonna size you up. It doesn't take a long time to size somebody up. So, here's your course. And again, the closer it gets, I'm still educate you all. This has nothing to do with me being jealous. I'm an empathist. If I know the information, I'm going to pass it along. You need to utilize YouTube to find out about this city. And as I'm talking to you now, there are police sirens blaring behind me. That goes on 24/7. And I don't live in any of the neighborhoods that were just on this list.